Alright, what the hell? There is my mouse. I used to spend almost, when the pandemic started and everyone was starting to stay home, I used to practice flying on here about probably 3 hours a day. Every day after work I would come on here and practice. So the way I have my game set up, I have my rudder control on A and D, and then I have my pitch controls on W and S in case I need to do emergency pitching while my mouse is doing something else like free looking. So the way I have my game set up for helicopter is I have my collective up on left mouse button and collective drop on the right mouse button. That way I have all of my throttle inputs at the touch of my fingertips. And I have my mouse sensitivity all the way up so that I'm able to do very fine adjustments mid-flight. And so I'm able to do all of that without moving my mouse very much. And that allows for better control when I'm doing some emergency landings as well. Then I've got my free look button on one of my side mouse buttons. I'm using one of those mice with like 12 buttons on the side, which are really good for MMOs. Well, in this case, I have buttons bound for almost all of my helicopter controls on here. See, this is where that pitch control on the keyboard is very useful, because I wouldn't be able to pitch up as quickly with my mouse because the way my buttons are bound and how high my sensitivity is. So this way I'm able to do that with my S key. So as I'm banked like this, I hit S and then it pushes my helicopter up. And whenever you bank, you always want to use rudder control, just like a real helicopter. So as you bank, you hit the direction of the direction you're turning, and it'll make your helicopter turn very nice and smooth, instead of only turning sideways. And then if the opposite, if you want to keep your helicopter in the air longer while facing that direction, what you do is use your opposite controls. And then here, cut collective completely, pitch up, and then bring it up at the end so that you have a nice smooth landing. Cut collective early. Bank up to cut collective, and then bank. Look at that fucking smooth landing. And because I'm coming up level to where I'm going, I'm gonna cut my collective early and then cut it halfway there. There we go. And I start throwing my collective up early. This one's always a little hard because I'm always scared of clipping a building. See, here you cut your collective early, pitch up really high. Ooh, shit. Ooh, I fucked up. Oh, shit. Well, everything else looked good. Well, yeah, that fucked up. Alright, well, that doesn't look good for me. I got overconfident and I fucked things up. Well, that's okay. I can always just show you guys how to fix that. Oh, jeez. The respawn is way over there. Well, that sucks. Well, as you can see, my time would have been really good if not for that crash. Fuck. Alrighty. Well, I'll just clip it, or... Nah, fuck it. I'll just respawn. That'll make things easier.
This is training, after all. Keep trying.
I'll just show you the landings, and then I'll show you how I
Landing the aircraft is perhaps one of the hardest things you will need
oh, whoops.
to do as a pilot.
Reset helicopter.
You will need to plan your approach, manage your airspeed and collective to ultimately bring you,
Come on.
your people, and your cargo back to Earth safely.
There we go. Well, that was definitely a fuck up on the landing, but I'll just show you the landings again. I got overconfident and cut my collective way too early, as you guys saw, and I pitched too high, which is why I stopped on the building. Just goes to show, even experienced pilots can still fuck things up. Oh yeah, and I have my map button bound to the middle mouse button, and my landing cam on spacebar. See? So it's a lot easier to quickly adjust your landing. See? That was better. And then for this one, it's not far, so just need to hover. Oh, I went over. But oh my god, I'm doing so bad. I'm trying to be cocky, and yeah, it is not working. Not working out for me. See, middle or side mouse button bound to free look. So when you're doing small adjustments, you have time to look. Alright, I should basically just show you guys how I have my stuff bound instead of trying to show off and doing things fast and wrong. As the saying goes, slow and steady wins the race. See, here I have my collective at like 30% so that I can have a nice smooth landing. There we go. So that's the landings. Obviously, I'm not taking into account the rings that I missed. And then I'm going to show you another trick that I learned on YouTube from another YouTuber. I don't remember who it was, but it was one of the most amazing pilots I've seen on this game. So what I'm going to do is do like a 180 sudden turn at that bush, cutting collective, doing a bank, and then bringing the collective up, and then down again. So that way I have a nice controlled landing on the other side of this bank. And you see that bush is right there. So I went from 100 collective to 0 and banking and making it on the other side of that berm nice and safe, which is a really nice way of stopping inside of a confined area. Let's say there was a lot of trees on my right. I go up, over, throw my collective up, and then down. And then up again before I hit the ground. So to soften my landing. So as you can see, I stopped right at that bush over there. So now, there we go. Alright, so now I will proceed to show how I... Hang on, let me turn the music down. Alright, I'm going to show you guys how to use the console. So the console is that little squiggly line next to the 1 button. So that little thing at the bottom will open up here. And then you are going to type admin... Oops, right. Admin change, and see, it auto-populated. Change map. You can hit up or down to go wherever you wanted to. Space, and then the map that you want, that you know has helicopters. This is how I've determined the list of every single map in Squad that has helicopters. And of course, since the last updates, new maps now have helicopters, and I keep adding the list. I keep adding to my list, which has, I think, over 40-50 maps with the helicopters, and it goes by map name, game mode, and then which version, and then it'll tell you which helicopters are on it, or I kept track. So in this case, let's go to Gordok. So Gordok, and then all of the Gordok maps are here. So then the ones that I know have helicopters on Gordok are AAS version 1, AAS version 2, RAS version 1, RAS version 2, RAS version 5, Insurgency 1, Invasion 1, Invasion 2, and Territory Control version 1. So I'm going to go to RAS 1, which is my favorite, and then there you go. So it's going to change map automatically. See, there you go. Of course, going to Blackhawk. Going to create a squad, heli. Always fucking name your squads heli. It is so annoying when a random squad takes a helicopter when there are already squads named heli. Because on most servers, the first squad to be created heli gets priority. Remember that, guys. Alright, then spawn at main. Alrighty. If you ever play with me, I always prefer having the left side helicopter, just because of the way I land. Alright, and of course, as you all know, you can't start your engine until, see, staging phase. So staging phase, so what you're going to want to do, open console again, admin, right, I have caps lock on, admin, speed, or admin, not change map. It's been a while since I've been offline. Let's see, admin, oh yeah, admin slow-mo. So admin slow-mo and how fast you want the speed to be up by. So let's say 5. So admin slow-mo 5. Look at the timer. So it's 5 times faster, which is not fast enough for me. I'm going to go 10. See? And then you're going to pre-open console, go back to speed 1, and get ready to hit it enter once staging is at 0. There you go. Now, that's how you speed up time, so you're able to take off. Yeah, not a fan of that one. There we go. So I'm going to show you guys how I normally tend to fly on this map. If any of you are used to being in the co-pilot seat with me, or being an SL and being in the co-pilot seat, you'll notice that I like to fly low. That's because I'm not one of those idiots who flies 100 meters in the air where every fucking vehicle on the map can shoot at you. No, I always use tree cover. Especially considering the maps in this game are really small compared to Arma 3. So you always want to have tree cover or use the... What the fuck did I just do? I wasn't paying attention. Wow. So here is another reason why slow-mo is useful. So it makes your timer go up, except for the last 10 seconds. That's normal. But then, look at my speed. It takes a lot less longer. Of course, I could use that one, but I'm going to show you guys the reason for this. So now I'm going to go back to slow-mo 1. And that way, just lick the trees. See? Time is sped up 10 times faster. So that way, it's the 6 minutes to wait for a respawn takes a lot less time. See? Then I had slow-mo speed 1 ready, so that way I can go and respawn again. So that way you're able to do that for the entire 2 hours that the games would normally be running. Obviously, you can't use any of those admin codes during a live game unless you're admin. And even if you do that, for most servers, you'd get kicked out for doing that. So when you do this offline, that way you're able to practice on any map with a helicopter without fucking things up for the rest of the team and losing a helicopter because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like the stupid mistake I just did because I was not paying attention. I'm not used to talking this much while I'm flying, unless I'm talking shit over comms. So as you can see, I stay low. And then as long as your rotors are above the treetops, the top of the tree will not make you crash. A lot of people think that they're going to crash if they get too close, but as you can see, I went through the top of that tree and I didn't crash. I'm going to do it again over here. See, look at the top of my rotor blade. See, that branch just went through the cockpit because the top of the trees are actually not physical. They're just there for show. See? That normally would have crashed a helicopter on Armo. Alright, so as you can see, as long as you stay within 10 meters off the ground, you can use tree cover to block your field of vision. Oops, going off map here. Oh, I don't think the off map works when in offline mode, so you could actually go off map without it destroying you. And then see, this is where I was telling you, map button on your middle mouse button, and then the zoom in and out with your scroll mouse. Very useful if you're trying to land somewhere specific. Let's say you're picking up a squad inside this compound. You can see it really nice and close here. Come in for the landing. Slow down. And then slowly creep up your collective. Open up your landing cam with spacebar. Use your free look to look around. See? Boom. Dead center in the middle of this compound. So very, very useful for having everything at your fingertips. So as I told you, I have my free look button on my mouse so that I'm able to look around like this. I used to have it on my left alt, but I found that was really hard to reach with my left thumb. So I have it bound to my mouse now. So it's a lot easier to look around while you're flying. But the only thing I hate is that you can't use pitch up or down while free looking. You can use banking, like banking left or not banking, your rudder pedals. So while free looking, you could turn slightly. See, I'm in free look now and I'm using rudder pedal. It's turning. But if I do pitching up and down with my W and S keys, that's not working. So if, let's say, you are hovering to drop supplies and you're free looking, you could turn so that your door gunner can keep his gun on targets like an enemy helicopter. But if you're slightly pitching, let's say you're like this, and then you're starting to pick up speed toward the front, you won't be able to fix it with your W and S key. You'll have to go out of free look mode and do it manually with the mouse, and then go back to free look. Alright, so now something else that I could show you guys is what maps have helicopters and shit. So what I will do is land here. So as I showed you guys, drop collective, do a big bank, and then throw your collective at 100% right before you hit the ground, and then drop it. So a nice soft landing, no damage. See? You can see your HP there on your hull, engine, rotors, and tail rotor. So very useful. Alright, so let's change map. So admin. Oops, right. Admin change map. And I'm going to go to Talil Outskirts. Let's go to Lille. And see, you can change map to anything you want. You can go to any. See, there are even the GC maps as well, which are, I think, from a different clan, I think. And then HC, Kohat, Lashkar Valley, which are the new maps. That wasn't there when I first started. LL maps, no idea what those are. Never been on those. So yeah, anyway, let's go to Lille. So Tallil outskirts, helicopter maps that I know of at the time that I created this. See, there are a lot of maps for Tallil. There's Invasion version 1, Raz 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then TC1. So I'm going to go to Raz 2.
We'll get him next time. Withdraw for now.
Alrighty then. So, this is one of my favorite maps, Tallil. I don't know why so many people hate it. Alright, there you go. Timer 10. Or slow-mo 10. That way things will speed up. And then I believe it should proceed through the next one as well. No. That's what I thought. It reset. Alrighty. Alright, and then slow-mo 10, speed things up. Whoa! The only thing about doing this mode, it's nice for speeding things up, but it's hard to control a bit. There you go, slow-mo 1. Get ready. And good to go. So I'm going to show you how I managed to get those really hot drops on this map. Because as you know, if you go anywhere near here, these areas tend to be really big hotspots for tow missiles. So especially if you're, because a lot of the times their armor, like their spandrel, will park here and attack anything that comes this way. So I always approach Iraqi hangar at very low altitude. So that way you use the hangars to your advantage to block line of sight on you from enemy vehicles. If you've ever been in my helicopter, you'll know that I rarely fly over 10 meters on this map. Unless I'm scouting for tanks. And never do scouting missions while you have a full helicopter of supplies. Drop your supplies off to your allies and be useful, and then do your scouting run. So you notice how early I dropped my collective, and then as I get close to landing, I raise it to about 36. See, didn't even hear a thud. So at the speed I was going, I managed to land in the middle of this compound, low enough that no vehicle has line of sight on me, except for right here, but normally I would have landed a little closer, like here. Normally when I land a squad to set up a radio, I typically land about here. So that way, as you can see, no field of view there, and there, that hill right there blocks line of sight on any vehicles to me. And then stay low. Always keep an eye on your pitch angle, because if you pitch too much, you'll drop too much altitude. When you're at full collective like I am now, you typically want to alternate between 10-degree pitch and 20-degree pitch so that you don't drop too much altitude. And see here, dropped my collective, then raised it, and then I'm pitching up, but I'm not gaining much altitude because my collective is low enough. So here, as you can see, I'm landed nice and close to the bunkers so I can drop supplies, that silo is blocking line of sight from vehicles. Those walls are blocking my left. And then over here I have 3 or 4 different hangars protecting my right side. So that way I don't get shot at. And then when I take off, full collective and bank really hard and pitch really hard to keep my altitude low. Because typically if you take off high, like this, let's say you're this high, that's only 20-30 meters. Look at that clear line of sight for vehicles to shoot you down all the way over to where the enemy main is. As soon as a vehicle crosses that bridge over here past the water tower, because see right here, if any tank is sitting here overlooking this area, they have clear line of sight on you. That's why I always keep my altitude low. I'm always lower than this, and I'll show you why. See that? Because of all the terrain with all the bumps and everything, this is a lot harder to see all the way down there. It's a lot harder to spot because most vehicles that are hunting helicopters down are going to be looking at the skyline, not at the ground. See? Check out this landing. 0 collective. Bring it to about 30 or 40. See? Quick halt around that electrical tower. Alright boys, so that is how I play. So because normally you should be able to see that collective on that side and the pitch, but unfortunately I don't know why they never fixed it, because I guess they don't think that co-pilots need to learn how to fly, so only the pilot can see it. See, like I can see it on the other screen. I can see everything. See my collective moving up and down? I see that there, but the co-pilot doesn't see it. Yeah, so anyway, this was a basic tutorial on how to use the offline maps so that you can practice flying without ruining people's days on a live game. And then here I will show you my landing. 0 collective, bank and pitch up, and then raise your collective at the last second. And then look at how smooth that is. Well, not perfectly smooth because I'm repairing right now, but that's because I'm rushing, because I don't want this tutorial to be like 30 minutes. How long has it been now? I do not see the timer on my OBS. Okay, that's why. I was hiding my timer. Yep, that was a 28-minute video already, so let's cut it here. Alright, so you boys have a good day. Alright, and I hope to play with you sometime. I plan on joining the Bella's Battleground community quite often. I plan on trying to join their clans, so I'll be on their server quite often because their helicopter rules are first come, first serve, meaning the first squad to create a heli squad gets priority, which is how it should be on every server. But that's just my opinion because I'm a pilot. Alright, so you guys have a good night.